And let's talk about aluminum as a space, because Nalco was extremely active as well. Excuse me. B.L. Bagra, the Chairman and Managing Director of Nalco, joins us right now on the show. Mr. Bagra, good to have you. Thanks so much for joining in today. You know, let's start off with what a lot of people are skeptical about, the coal situation. In September and October, the company had shut down 120 ports out of the 931 that you have, owing to severe lack of coal availability. What's the current status?
Yes, the coal supply situation has improved a lot after the middle of October. In September, there was a lot of disturbances because of various reasons, and we had to take shutdown of 120 ports, as you said. But the coal supply situation has improved a lot after that, and for last 2 months we are receiving as per the linkage agreement, which meets our requirement for the smelter. But we have not yet started the reopening of the ports which were shut down in September, because we are building up some stocks. We were left with only 2 days consumption stock in September, and we are now meeting full requirement, and there is something we are using for building up the stocks. Once we reach to the stock of 15 to 20 days consumption, then we will consider reopening the ports which were taken for shutdown in September.
Do you see further deterioration in margins? The domestic coal supply will continue to be tight, rupee is weak of course, and raw materials continue to be high. So is there a cost pressure that you're kind of working to kind of defend?
Our cost of production is under pressure from various factors. Coal of course is one, but as far as Q3 is concerned, because of improved supply from the Coal India, we don't see the pressure on the coal front. But other raw material fronts like the fuel oil, furnace oil, which are directly linked to the index of the oil index, and also due to the rupee dollar exchange rate, there have been some pressures on the side of the oil as well as on the carbon, and so the cost of production is going up. But the improved situation on the coal side will help us definitely to some extent. And we feel that the cost of production will not be more than what it was for the Q2, which was largely affected very adversely due to the coal problems.
Okay, then give us a sense of how do you see the movement of aluminum prices, as the street believes that prices will bounce back. Vijay Bhamwani out here also spoke about the possibility of the base metal making a move upwards. Maybe not in the near term, but over the next few quarters.
The prices have been hovering around $2,000 per ton for quite some time, which is the bottom we feel, because even at this price, almost 40 to 45% of the smelting capacity globally is operating at loss. And we have been maintaining that the longer it prevails at the same level, there will be shutting down of the inefficient or the high-cost smelters. That has started happening, and in Europe some high-cost smelters have been shut down by the producers. And if it continues like this, there will be a supply constraint, and which will push the prices up. And because of this particular region, which is the cost push factor region, we feel that the analysts' prediction that the prices will rebound from this level, definitely we share the sentiment, and it is going to happen. Only the uncertainty, the timing, whether it will start in the January itself or it may go in further 1 or 2 months. But we feel that 2012 will be definitely better than the present price level, which are almost the rock bottom prices, and the industry can sustain in the medium term.
There's news doing the rounds that the company is looking to pick a 25% stake in MEC by March. Any updates on that, sir?
It is related to our proposed power plant and smelter in Indonesia. In fact, this is the bidder which has been identified or which has emerged as a preferred bidder for long-term coal supply agreement. And one of the conditions of the bid was that the company may consider to pick up some stake in the coal mine, which the bidder has already offered. And our board's committee set up for the purpose is looking into that transaction, and we are hopeful that we will be closing this transaction by end of March. Of course, taking of the stake will have some more time because of the issues of the valuation, etc. But the transaction we are hopeful to close by end of March.
Okay, Mr. Bagra, before we wind up really, there have been supply constraints. We talked about it at the opening, at the start of the discussion itself. Supply constraints by Coal India. The growth for Nalco could depend on captive coal as a result of those supply constraints. How are you preparing yourself for this issue? And what are the strategies that you are looking at adopting for better backward integration?
For the backward integration, we are working on the two fronts. One is the coal, which is the key material for the power generation. We have been allotted a captive coal block nearby our power plant called Utkal E coal block. It is at advanced stage of implementation. We have secured all the regulatory permissions from the Environment Ministry, forest clearances and pollution control clearances. Now the land acquisition is in process, and we are hopeful that by sometime end of 2012 or early 2013, this captive coal block should start producing coal and supplying to our coal plant. But this captive coal block will be feeding into the 2 units which were set up recently as part of our expansion project. The earlier 8 units will continue to receive the coal from the Coal India under the linkage agreement. Yet we feel that any shortfall from the Coal India under the linkage agreement will be made good by this our captive coal block. Another key raw material is the caustic soda, for which we are planning to set up our own captive production unit in some joint venture. I can't share with you the details of our JV partner because it is at a very nascent stage, but we hope that in next 3 or 4 months time we will be finalizing the joint venture arrangements to set up our own captive caustic soda production unit. These 2 key raw material will cover almost 40 to 50% of our backward integration as far as the value is concerned.